Hello and welcome to FBL Broadcasting, part of the Canadian Corporation Limited. We're here with Richard Tweed. It's the Youth Premiership Conference League, under 12s, under 13s, under 14s South. Let us know your comments, people, because I'm telling you what, this weekend or the weekend just gone, that Saturday, that, what do you reckon, Richard? That shot was amazing.
But what I found funny about it was when you did the close-up was that one of the pool players, I think it's Zara Dale from Pool Netball Club. She's clapping. She's like this. Fair play to you.
Everybody there. Like,
stick it on again, Martin. Stick it on again. Okay.
All right, let's try to do it together. Let's just.
Hold on. Let me just set the scene. Let's set the scene. So when we end games, we always count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just because of the entertainment value, and that is completely it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, sorry.
It speeds up its game, and it just enhances that last 5 seconds. And sometimes it's very rare you get that moment where it pans out perfectly, where 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Someone takes a shot in the last second, and it drops into the net. As I say, time or game over or whatever. And this is exactly what happened when Clan got the ball with 5 seconds to go, and literally she just dropped this shot with a millisecond to go, and it was incredible. It's like she won the World Cup. Put it on, Martin.
Mate, I honestly, I think that's the only video for the ENG sort of thing that I said to you. I said I'm going to clip that. We're bringing that in because this is what I actually want to show people, and and bring forward that, watching it live is just this sort of thing. Right? Let's go, girls. 4, 3, 2, 1. I tell you what, I'm trying to click to get that to come up so that we can actually be on there and we could actually pause it, but I don't know why it's not letting me do it. But
no, that's what it's about, isn't it? Like that, you need to send me that so I can promote that on my social media.
No, man, that's mine. I'm promoting on my social media.
Just send it to me, Martin. Otherwise, you won't be coming back again at the weekend. But we've got
People, let me know in the comments. Yeah, you're going to let him talk to me like that. Just tell him you can't stop him from coming. That's what you got to say. Smile is allowed. FBL broadcasting's allowed. You can't intimidate me. There you go.
The only person I tried to stop and come to the event was someone who decided that they were going to do a risk assessment on my event, and they said I'm going to come and oversee what you do, and I'm like, you're not coming. Please, just stay out of my business, please. But we had a great day, didn't we, Martin, on Saturday?
Yeah, we did. Hang on a sec. I'm just going to throw this up there. Look at this. We got Holly Craig saying, "Evening, fellas. Luke listening in from Stars NC."
Well, if Luke's listening in, Luke, send that link into the chat because I'd love to have a chat with Luke because he's the founder of he's a founder of Stars Netball Club. So it'd be great to get him in, and we can have a chat about how we got the club started and what he looks to want to achieve in this crazy netball world we find ourselves in. But let's go through the scores. It was a good day.
Luke, the link's there. Just click on it, mate, and you can come join us and talk as well. There you go. Sorry, buddy. Go on. What would you like?
Well, just go through the scores. So the opening game was Stars taking on Saturn Town. A massive game. Stars are nearly at the finishing line in regards to winning this league. It's going to be a massive achievement for them if they do that, especially being on the national level. But they just beat Saturn Town 17-16. Saturn Town still had the chance to win it.
Can I do something? I've been a bit busy, Richard. I've been a bit busy, mate. So let me just show you. So the Saturn Town game. Watch this. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Let people see that was very close at the end there. That was just like, oh.
Well, Saturn Town still had the chance to win the league, and they were 2 or 3 points up at one point, and it looked like they were potentially going to go and scrape the win. But Stars have a knack of just grinding out victories when it doesn't look possible. But then Saturn Town potentially could have got a draw, and as you saw from that clip there was, I think, 35 seconds to go off the centre pass. They made the first pass, but unfortunately the second pass, it got intercepted, and that was their big chance gone, really. But a draw still wouldn't have been enough for them in that one. So ideally they needed the win, but it was a great game. So well done to Stars and Saturn Town. 17-16 there to Stars. Then we had Poole versus Hearts Hornets. Surprising result, to be honest, because Poole, they've done really well in the last few weeks, especially when they drew against AP Saints. But they played against a Hearts Hornets team, I believe, put out their best performance of the season. They looked so ruthless in this game. And I was speaking to the Poole coaches prior to the game. I said, I think, against Hearts Hornets, because of the last couple of rounds you've played, you should get the win there. But I was completely shown to be wrong, because Hearts Hornets, they were incredible. They just played with a confidence and a kind of maturity that we haven't seen all season. So well done to Hearts Hornets. They surprised me, and they showed that next season, if they perform like that, again, they'll be one of those teams that'll be hoping to push for the top 4. Then Clan took on Poole Netball Club. Poole bounced back from the defeat, and as we saw, Clan did that amazing shot in that game, but Poole comfortably won that game 34-9. They come. I was teeing off something that I was going somewhere else there, but I stopped myself.
Good lad.
Clan then played Turnford, and Turnford are hoping to. Well, they are pushing Stars right to the very end here, but the goal difference could potentially be a factor in this league, and they got a very good, healthy win against Clan, 48-6. Got to say, Clan, even though they have suffered a lot of defeats in the last few rounds, there has been a massive improvement. So well done to Clan. AP Saints was the big. They were playing in the big games of the day, because where we find ourselves with AP Saints is they got 3 games left. Well, they had 4 until Teambridge dropped out, and they had to if they won 2 of those games at least, then they're into the national finals. But they had 2 chances on Saturday to get the win, and they failed on both occasions. So the first game against Turnford is 27-11, just too many errors. When you play teams like Turnford, your error rate has to be very, very low. And unfortunately, AP Saints, even though they battled hard at points it looked quite a good, evenly matched game, it was just the errors were just a bit too more substantial than Turnford. So Turnford won 27-11. And Eagles, who are chasing down AP Saints, because Eagles are the only team who can get in. Well, Poole potentially could have done, but that defeat in their first game meant that was over. But Eagles are the only team who can potentially go over AP Saints into 4th place and qualify for the Nationals. They won 31-10 against Magic. And again, Eagles, like Hearts Hornets, they just come on a lot, and they're showing now, what a good team they're going to be. So again, next season they'll be looking to not only push for the top 4, but push for the top 2, or maybe go for the league title. AP Saints then played Hearts Dynamos, a game that I predicted would be a 50-50 game, and not to take Hearts Dynamos lightly. And Hearts Dynamos produced an amazing performance. I don't know if you've got any clips of that game, Martin, but the spectators, the energy inside the room is exactly why we encourage the participation from the parents. Like, if anyone feels that doesn't have an effect on players' performances, then I will personally sign you into a mental institution, because fan engagement or spectators attending to show their support, it's just magical. It just helps massively. And this game was brutal. It was like playing a game of cards, Martin. Someone goes £100 open or £200 blind, and you've got to hold your nerve and kind of believe in your cards. And it was one of those games where whoever blinked first was going to lose, type of thing. And Hearts Hornets just about got the job done, but it was a good performance from both teams. And then the final game of the day, it's Hearts Dynamos against AP Saints. And Hearts Dynamos in their final game of the day against Magic, they probably thought, like myself, and even yourself, if you was looking at the league table, this would be a very easy game for them, especially after their previous performance. And Magic, they come out of nowhere, and their movement, their passing, the shooters, they were just, again, they were very clinical, and we haven't seen that from Magic all season. So Magic's final game of the season was by far their best game of the season, and they were very unlucky not to win that. It was just, again, Hearts.
Hang on. I've got a little clip. You want to see it?
Well,
of the last minute of the game.
Hearts Dynamos.
Yep.
And Magic.
Yep.
Yeah. So watch this, everyone. So this is the Hearts Dynamos Magic game. It was a great game. Hearts Dynamos probably didn't expect this performance on Magic, but let's see how the last minute played out, because it was a great final minute.
There you go. That was a tense. Oh, heart goes out, man. Heart goes out.
Yeah, Magic. They were warriors, and I remember one of their centre court players, and you always got. It's the small little things that make up the character of a team or the personality of someone. And this girl was just, if the ball was loose, she was literally diving onto it. She was cuddling it like you would cuddle a child coming out of a burning building. It's those little, and that dedication to wanting just to win the ball back is all you need from a player to know that they've got the right mentality. And you can have all the skill in the world, but if you haven't got that drive and that willpower to want to, win these loose balls and to win netball matches or any form of sport, then eventually your technical side will succumb to your poor mentality. And if you've always got a good mentality, then you've always got half a chance, I believe. So let's go up to the league table there, Martin, and let's look at what it looks like after round 6. So if we start from the bottom, we've got our relegated teams. So that's all done and dusted. So Clan, TTNC, Apollo and Griffins and Aces won't be joining us for the under-13s season next season, unless we don't get additional teams wanting to join, and we can put it back out to them and say, look, would you like to be back involved? But they're going to have to sit this one out if we get more teams. But Magic saved themselves from potential relegation on the last, because they got some points against Teambridge, so they were safe coming into that round. So they'll be joining us again next season. Paul, Hearts Hornets still have one game to go, and Paul have the opportunity to get 7th as their best position. Hearts Hornets probably based on goal difference, the best they're going to get is 7th. But like I said previously, they played superbly in it and definitely played their best game of the season. Hearts Dynamos, they finished the season in 6th, which is, in a way, I'd be frustrated if I was them. I think if they'd have got going a little bit sooner, they could have been pushing for the top 4, but not this time around. So, but next season, like I said, my tip is that they'll be in the top 4. So come back to me this time next year and see if that's correct. Eagles and AP Saints will be pushing to see who gets into the Nationals. So Eagles, their final game is against Hearts Hornets. And again, a game you would think they would win, but based on Hearts Hornets' previous game they played, it potentially might not be as straightforward as Eagles suspect. So if I was Eagles, I wouldn't think that's going to be an easy win, because again, the clubs are just getting better and better. The more time that goes on, obviously, the more training they're doing, the more experience they're getting is helping them develop quicker. So, in my eyes, Eagles should get the win there, but hopefully Hearts Hornets surprise us in that one. AP Saints, they sit in 4th as the final team that could potentially go to the Nationals. They have 1 game to go, and that's against top of the table Stars. No, 2nd place Stars, sorry.
I was going to say, it's changed at the top.
So, yeah, so they've left themselves with a lot of work to do to try and get into the Nationals.
Luke's
is he coming in?
Do you want to bring him? Shall I bring him in?
Oh, 2 seconds. Let me just finish off this league table.
Yeah, go ahead.
So qualified 100% into the Nationals, we have Saturn Town in 3rd, and Saturn Town cannot go any further than 3rd. So they've got the lovely ENG Youth Netball Premier League bronze medals. If you have never received a medal from ENG, you are missing out big time. They're the best medals, apart from if you do taekwondo and karate. They're the best medals you're going to see in the sporting world and youth sporting world. Stars are in 2nd. They still have 2 games to go. They have Clan and they have AP Saints. So the game between Stars and AP Saints on the final game of the season is going to be brutal. But we'll get into that in a while. And top of the table is Turnford. They've got 1 game to go. They're playing Poole Netball Club, a game they should win. I think Poole are quite excited, to be honest, to be playing that game. I think they're just going to. It's kind of a no loss, kind of no lose. There's no loss in it, regardless, because they're just going to go do their best, and the emphasis will be on Turnford to win that game. So they're just going to enjoy kind of playing the the bad guys and trying to disrupt and stop Turnford.
It's like a derby between those two as well, isn't it? Poole and Turnford.
Well, no. Well, at this age group, there's no rivalry there. You're thinking of the under-14s who just, they could start a full-scale war if you let them.
Yeah, but I think it's coming down. The age groups, mate.
Why not? Do you know what, Martin? For the sake of ticket sales and your live stream, let's call it a huge rivalry.
There we go. Yes.
So, Paul, under 12s. If you're angry about your under 13s last season losing to Turnford in the grand finals,
don't take it. Don't take it.
Don't have it. But Turnford sit on top.
Revenge.
Based on Turnford's goal difference, I suspect that Stars are going to have to win both their next games to win this league. So they've got AP Saints, but again, we're going to little things in a while. We're gonna let's go on. But coming into the room now, we have the founder of Stars Netball Club, a very new netball club in the netball world scene. Netball world, yeah. Well, let's call it a netball world scene. Big. They're planning big things, and they've used this league as a platform to showcase the great work they're doing. So, hello, Luke.
Evening, chaps. Thanks for having me on.
That's okay.
It's a great watch, actually. I watched the show back last week, and obviously I was playing a little bit of Dad's football, so I couldn't join you as on live show. But this evening I'm free, so I thought, let's see what the chaps are up to. And I think everything you're putting across there is spot on. all the teams that you're sort of tipping to get better, you can see the progression. Obviously, it's a competitive league. You know, it's our first experience in it, and we're loving it. So, thanks for having us in.
Well, of course you're loving it. You know, you're right at the top.
Well, not anymore. According to Richard, not anymore.
Well, you are right at the top. You're on 20 points. Come on, you're sharing it at the moment with Turnford.
Yeah,
and Saturn Town, actually.
No, both those sides.
I always get my most positive comments on the teams at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. we did have a 14s in there. Was it last season or 13s? And
13s. Yeah.
It wasn't as fruitful or successful. So, you know, we had to sort of assess where we were and then come again. And I think you only let us in because we almost said, Richard, please let this group in. So, you know,
Luke, that's why I've got 13 teams because Luke, do you know what the funny thing about it, Martin, is I wanted to really cap all these leagues at 10 teams, but I'm a big softie at the same time. So teams would come to me and say, "Look, Rich, please, we need our team in," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And afterwards, I'll be, "That's it, no more." And Luke come to me, and he said, "Look, I've mucked up. I forgot to email back. Blah blah blah. Can my girls come in?" And I'm not going to lie to you, Marty, because Luke was saying to me,
"Oh, I'm going to follow this in a minute with something else. Go on."
No, they said to me, Luke was saying to me, "Oh, my girls are good. You know, we win everything." And part of me was thinking, "That's great, but I've heard this chestnut before." So I was thinking, "Do I? Don't I?" Then in the end, I thought, you know what? Me and Luke are both good-looking guys. You know, we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve the dream. I'm going to let him in, but at the same time, I thought to myself, now we're going to see how good you really are. Yeah, and to be fair to him, he wasn't lying. His team have come into the league, and they've. What I loved about his team more than anything is that they've got this durability to them, where they never, even if you feel they're kind of not doing as well performance-wise, or the score's not going for them, you always feel that they can come back into the game. And again, that's a trait any athlete needs in order to further their careers or to progress. So, no, Luke, thank you for convincing me, because you are 2 games away from winning this league. So, what are your thoughts going to the last 2 games against Clan and AP Saints?
So we haven't played Clan before. You know, looking at the league table, you would say that we should do okay there. But you know, we've also dropped, if I'm being honest, our level at times against some of the sides in the lower half, which was probably evident last week, not Saturday gone, but the week before, where we started quite, you know, poorly. Obviously, long layoff with Christmas and stuff, so you can't really have an off day because you could get caught out. We have played AP Saints this season in a knockout of the Citizen Sports Cup, so we've had that experience against them. We were successful during that game. Good side. You know, I think we just ended up sort of having just a bit too much for them on the day. But one thing I've realised, actually, watching the course of the season sort of continue, is sides are adding all the time to their players, right? So their squad, sorry. So watching, we played Saturn Town Saturday just gone, which could have went either way. Good side, very, very physical, some real good assets in their team. Beginning of the season, I don't think they had some of those players. So they've obviously been added as the season's gone on. And same for Turnford. I watched Turnford, was it last week? And you know, there was definitely a couple of players who played for them in that game, notably a defender who's really tall, who didn't play against us in the first game. So these sort of changes are happening, and we need to keep our eye on what's going on. So, you know, for us, obviously, we've got our own style of play and our way of playing.
He makes me sound dodgy.
Yeah.
Got to keep an eye on this.
Nobody needs to make you sound dodgy.
He's the Del boy of netball, he is. So they've got to keep an eye on it. But no, that's good. It's good competition, mate. Girls are loving it.
So against Clan, because your goal difference, I think if your goal difference would have been near enough the same as Turnford's or better than Turnford's, I think you could have afforded to lose against AP Saints and just beat Clan very well. But I don't think you have that luxury no more. You haven't got the luxury of you're going to have to win by a stupid amount of goals because Turnford are playing Paul and we expect them to win that game. So basically, you're going to have to beat AP Saints. You have got no choice whatsoever. And if I was to look at AP Saints' performances against Turnford, at times they matched them. Yeah. Again, it just comes down to those small, minute things that make the difference, and that's scoring when you should be scoring. When you turn over the ball, make sure you maximize it, especially against the good teams. The amount of times I see teams turning balls over against Saddleworth versus Kingsway Power in the Northern one. It's like, guys, you can't afford to turn the ball over against Kingsway Power and then not score.
Yeah,
that is the difference between. And then the AP Saints play Hearts Dynamo. A team, like you said, you probably struggled against, which you weren't expecting to.
Yeah, that's what happened.
To be fair to Hearts, Hearts Dynamos, they have improved big time. So it wasn't because I don't think you were playing badly. It was because Hearts Dynamos showed something that you probably weren't expecting. But AP Saints in those two games definitely showed me enough to suggest that if your girls, again, I don't know how you analyse the Saturn Town game, but potentially that type of performance might not be enough against AP Saints if they bring their A game. And I think it's the worst possible outcome for you that AP Saints lost to Hearts Dynamos, because they've got everything to play for, like you have. And I know for a fact you're going to want to win this league. It's not a case of just qualifying for the Nationals. You're going to want to finish the job off, and I know that for a fact because you're from that type of world. But are you nervous, even though you beat them well in the Sisters in Sports Cup? Are you sitting there thinking, "Oh, why did this have to materialise this way?" Or are you kind of thinking, "You know what? This is exactly what we want as the club"?
No, I agree, Rich. I think like with us, it's we see every single game as a cup final. You know, we want our girls to get into the mindset that, you know, it's good to be nervous before a game, but enjoy the experience. Go out there with full confidence. You're good enough to be there. That's why you're at the top of the league, and you've won 10 out of 10. You know, there may come a game which you don't put it all together and you're not successful. But you know, for us, look, I think one of the things I would like to see change, especially in sport at youth level, is just play with confidence. You know, and go and give everything you've got every single game. And I like the saying of what the league's about, sort of not given. And it was sort of the way I was brought up. You go out there, you give 100%. First of all, put that in, and then hopefully your talent then takes you across the line. And I think we've got bundles of talent in our squad. One of our attributes is our sort of versatility. You know, like the team we played Saturday, I don't think you'll come up against a more difficult challenge defending that young lady who plays up front for Saturn Town, because of such a presence, her size alone. And actually, I thought we'd done a really, really good job on her tactically.
Amazing.
Their goal attack was unbelievable as well. So it was like you kind of like put all your focus in on the young lady who's really tall and obviously very noticeable, but actually, you know, they're good all around the court. They could, if things didn't quite work out the way they worked out, we could have took that loss and we would have had to take it on the chin and come back. And for us, our girls are learning as well. This is their first season at this level. We played 2 local level games yesterday in our West London Junior Netball League. They won by cricket scores. So you can see the difference that the ENG is having for them when they go back to their local pond.
Sorry, can I just jump in there? So you're saying that because of the ENG, their game's improved because they're playing against, well, let's not say better teams, but you know.
No, 100%. But you're correct. Like when you're winning games by 1-2 points, you know, Turnford, we were down by 5 points in the last quarter. You know, so there's a real kind of question.
6.
Was it 6, Rich? So
6,
there's a real question of character there. You know, and you know sometimes teams will fold under that pressure, especially sides who are very successful. You know, this team of ours at the moment, you know, I don't want to put any kind of too much pressure on them, but they've never experienced defeat in 3 years. So
right,
there will come a day and a time but they know that, and I think they've lived with that pressure every time they go and play a game now. The opposition raise their game, they want to beat them. So, how good are you really going to become? And that's down to living with pressure and playing through it. And the kind of like really, really kind of interesting thing for me is half of our girls now, they still need that kind of reassurance that they're that good. Once they really kind of understand how good they are, then, I'm sure they're going to take it to the next level. And we are always looking to add where we can to make the squad a better rounded squad. So, for instance, you need somebody who can maybe nullify the threat of the Saturn Town shooter, or there's some really good different sides in the ENG, and I don't think that's the case in our local level. They're all pretty similar. We're coming up against different challenges all the time.
Okay.
Hey, Craig, I'm sorry, Craig. Luke, I call you Craig because you remind me of. He's a spitting image. He's a spitting image of someone who was a professional footballer in my local area. Luke, whose decision was it to bring your defender through the first, second, third quarters? She's normally your attacking player, but you've put her in defence to nullify the threat of their shooter. Now, what I said to my score taker was exactly the same thing you said, is they're focusing so much on her, the goal attack is having a whale of a time because she's literally just being able to run riot. But no, you still defended her well. But how brave was that decision to go, you know what? Let's take her out. We could leave ourselves exposed big time. But it was so brave because you just thought, let's go for it. And it paid off. So whose decision was that?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a joint decision. Obviously, we spoke about it during the game. Something that I thought, it's one of those: do you try and defend something or do you attack something? And I think the way that their goal attack was playing, she was doing just as well as anyone. So I think it was a case of, look, we need to get our shooter doing what she does, and she's very good at what she does. And she's, she was probably, I'd say, player of the match against Turnford in that last quarter.
Yeah, 100%.
And she's had a great weekend. I think she's cleaned up and got player of the match every single game this weekend. So she's on a bit of a crest of a wave in terms of her own self. But it was morely knowing the child and the type of attitude that she has towards challenge, because we've got a very good goalkeeper, has played every single game of the season and done a good job. But after watching, and this comes back down to you chaps and giving us that kind of ability to analyze games and watch replays and
so you do look at the games.
100%.
People. See,
I think that's a massive part of sport. You've got to know what you're coming up against, and if you give yourself the best chance possible to understand your opponent, then I think you'll have the best opportunity to potentially beat them. If I'm being totally honest, I didn't realise their goal attack was as good as she was because my eyes were looking at the goal shooter. But that, if you look in the first quarter, we made a change in that area straight away to deal with the goal attack, and that was Mel's decision. Mel's the head coach, and I support her. And that was something she saw initially and thought, we need to deal with this goal attack as well. She still had a very good game, even though we put someone else there because she was a good player. But I think for us, it's a case of that's what makes this league exciting. There's different attributes to every side, and I'm sure other teams are going to do it with us. How do you nullify them? How do you stop them? Some teams have had success. It's just they haven't managed to keep us off long enough. And there will come a day, and we know that, but we'll keep enjoying it whilst we're the team everyone wants to beat.
Well, I think what again, going back to the attributes of your team, it's teams have success against you, and you kind of lead them into this false sense of security. Like I said I don't know if you saw the Saturn Town interview, but I said when you went 3 points up, did you think, oh my God, like we're 3 points up, but I can't believe this is happening? We've all been there in sport where we're playing a team and think, oh my word, we're actually winning 2-3-0. How's this happened? But that can have the opposite effect to losing by 2 or 3 goals because it's the same overwhelming. And then the Sutton Town girl turned around and said, we just were overwhelmed. We couldn't cope. And I think your team, they're 2-3 points down, but they're, especially when they played Turnford and were six points down going into the final quarter, like, you were dead and you were buried. The game was over for me. I was getting ready for it. I was about to go and get my cup of tea in that situation.
Yeah.
And you come back and you won the game when you shouldn't have done. And I think going into the national finals, that is a trait that you're 100% going to need, because it looks like you're going to be playing either, if it pans out the way we think it does, Leeds or potentially Saddleworth, Wyre or Grangetown. So really tough teams, and you're going to need that durability. But where does that come from, Craig? Sorry, Luke. In regards, sorry, you know what I'm like with names. But where does that come from in regards to your training?
I just think like myself and Melissa, we're both very similar in our outset of look, we're winners. You know, losing hurts. We don't want to lose. We win. We've won so much with so many teams, but we'll go away from every single game and go, how could we be better? How could that have been a better performance? And for us, you will never ever see from us like an attitude of quitting, or and I think that just runs through into the kids. Obviously, like those type of traits, I think they're kind of created from your own upbringing and your own environment, which we spoke about on Saturday. You know, but you know, for us, it's like the first time you met us, we'd never played in a game like that down in I think it was down the coast somewhere, and we won in the last minute. You know, so it's definitely something that runs through the club in terms of belief, and I think it's just a case of it comes from the top. You know, I think consistency, obviously support, young people feeling not afraid to just give everything they've got. You know, sometimes when you're not playing well or you haven't had a good game, you can shell up a little bit and worry about what criticism might be coming to you after a game. We never look at it like that. We purely look at it like, right, the game's still in. We're still within touching distance of a team. We can win the game. Go and believe in yourselves. And then if we don't, then obviously we'll address where we went wrong on the day and hopefully come back stronger. But so far, so good in terms of the attitudes. That group are very close. They're not a squad that has changed much over the last 3 years. So they have togetherness. They've won things together. There's a sort of mentality which is, we can win. We can beat anyone we're put against. And so far they have. But, you know, I'm told there's greater competition out there. And definitely the games against Turnford and Saturn Town, that they were games which could have went either way. So, you know, we're hoping that we get the good results coming up in the next couple of weeks to finish off what I would say would be a brilliant season for them, to be crowned, you know, if they can be top of the South. But, you know, we know that some of those sides are very close to the same level as us, and they're only going to get stronger, and they're probably hungrier from the defeats to want to turn that around. So we have to stay on our toes.
Luke, how confident are you that you can win those next two games? If you was to give me a percentage, where are you at?
Ooh. Look, if
I'm setting him up here for a right old football.
I know you are. I love it.
I'm a confident person, mate. I believe in my squad.
Let's zoom into him. There we go. See you.
Look, you can bring me back on if it all goes wrong anyway, but I'm going to say 100%. I believe in my girls. You know, I work with them day in, day out. We've played against AP Saints. They met.
So you're 100%. You're 100% that you're going to beat Clan and AP Saints to win the league.
Yeah, we're going to win the league.
Good. There you go. There's confidence for you.
There you go. I like it. We got to hear from AP Saints next.
No, it's nothing.
I get Alison on. Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want to see you all start coming on. You know, let's get you all on here, all your coaches and stuff, and the kids as well.
Like, it's not even about them. It's not about them. This is about us. Like, I don't look at the other teams, and you know, they'll have assets. AP Saints, we played them before. They're a very good side. You know, they could beat us if they play their better game and we don't. You know, that's how it works. I haven't seen Clan play, so can't really make a judgment. I've been honest enough to say Saturn Town could have beat us if things didn't go the way they went. Turnford, they had the game free, they were winning. But like you said, we find a way, we get through it, and there's that character. So look, there's no reason for me to doubt my own team, and that would be silly for me to do that. Otherwise, that doubt would then run through into the girls. We came here. We asked you first of all to let us in, so we needed for you to understand there was a reason that you wouldn't. You wouldn't regret it, and hopefully we've added, some really good moments to the season, and
brilliant. Some brilliant moments.
Definitely. Yeah, and we've loved it, mate. We've loved making friends with other clubs, and the other coaches are brilliant people. It's everything that young, youth sport is about, and the fact that you put them on the stream, their grandparents are watching it, their mums and dads. Yeah, that is what it's all about. We've had such a period over the last couple of years where people have been boxed in. It's just wonderful to be able to showcase young people loving their sport. Even if we came third or fourth, we'd be delighted with that too. With just the fact that our aim was to qualify. So we wanted to qualify, but it's looking better than that. We've qualified. Can we win it? Why not? We've had it out with the best that there is so far. But we know that there's 2 tough games coming up and we can't drop our guard, and we won't, because we won't allow them to. But if we do lose out, we'll take it on the chin and we'll go in at second, third, whatever it may be.
Well, I do think it's yours to lose. That you've got these 2 games in hand, haven't you? For everything I see, I'm too busy, like live streaming it on the day, and this is why I do it, because the action out there, and Stars has done amazing. But it's all for you to lose. But I can see you're a very strong side. I constantly see the play, and I'm not as clever as Richard when it comes to all the tactics and stuff. I'm just somebody watching it quite a bit, but I see how strong you are. So it's going to be a very good game at the end of the season, definitely.
So Luke, you're not long in the netball scene. I know you're definitely a club that wants to create a legacy within youth netball. Just give people a bit of feedback, because we don't want to take up too much of your time, in regards to how you started your club, and where you see your club in the next few years, and what you want to achieve as a club.
So we started the club maybe 3 years ago. It was just myself running sort of junior netball leagues down in West London. I also own a football club and a gymnastics club, so quite embedded in my local area. So the next thing everyone wanted was netball. We started that off. We have a league of about 20, 5 teams running. And from there, we just sort of said, what's the next step? So we entered a few of the local tournaments in the area, put some sides made up of all the players from those 5s into them. So happened to do very well and win those. That's where I come across Melissa. She was running those tournaments, and she said, who's coaching the girls? And I just said, well, at the moment it's sort of me, but I would love to have someone in with your expertise, because I knew she was a very good coach and an England Pathways manager. So she's very good at identifying talent and trying to get them to the best level possible. And we've kind of gone from strength to strength from there. Started with 3 sides. We're now something like 15 sides throughout the club.
Wow.
There's non-stop interest to join those teams. It's difficult to. I'm very much about inclusion as a person. It's always been in my way. We've got 400 footballers in our club. So, we aim to sort of do something similar with netball, but obviously it's got to be done in a steady kind of fashion, so that it doesn't really kind of impact on the journey for the players who are playing at this level. Because if you over flood it, then it can impact on the quality of your work. And I've got 3 daughters. Richard's got a big family himself. That's where my kind of initial drive came from. My daughters wanted to play some netball. There wasn't many clubs in our area that had space, so I said, all right, we'll do it ourselves, and we have done, and there we are. We're doing all right. So I'm just proud that I can sort of spend that time with my children growing up in sport, and say, look, we achieved something together, and hopefully one day they're old enough to take it on. I can just sit there and watch.
Luke, how important is driving that competition message when you're developing teams? How massively important is that in regards to the enthusiasm for what they're doing, how they train, how they look to, how they approach match play. Could what you're doing be done without a non-competitive mindset?
I don't think on the level that you guys showcase. I think obviously we came to your league a couple of years ago with an under-14s group who really was sort of thrown together with what we had, and they quickly got found out. So, we knew at the time that we needed to really think about what teams we enter into such competitions. So not everyone in the club is able to, I would say, play at the level that you're offering. But it's like anything, if you're playing in the top side within your club and you're in the B or the C side, your aspiration should be towards getting in that top side. And that's the sort of the mindset that we have for all the players. And like the B team players will train with the A team players. There has been kids coming in and out as the season's gone on, being given opportunities, because every player needs competition for their shirt. And if they don't have that competition, naturally they'll relax and think that, I'm safe in my area, and then their development might then sort of stagnate because, they're not being pushed or continually on their toes to look over their shoulder. It happened on that game on the weekend. Our regular goalkeeper, she's played as goalkeeper for the last 3 years, never missed a game, never dropped. And then no reason to drop her. She's always been solid. But we knew that the girl we needed to put in there was a different mindset and attitude to deal with the challenge.
Oh, that's a big decision. Big
decision. That's... And, I suppose when you win the game, you can sort of say it paid off. If it had went the other way, you could have said, you made an absolute shot. So,
all the parents phoning you up. I was watching it on the live stream and you're sacked.
Yeah, exactly. The one good thing is I can't sack myself. So my daughters would sack me, but
yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, that's sport. It's a small margin. Like, even if I'm Saturn Town after that game the other day, I would not be disappointed. I would, maybe so that you didn't get the points, but knowing that you can compete equally with the other side is now it's for them to just go back and fine tune their own side. And next time we play them, it could be a different result. We know that. We know that we have to keep moving forward. And I'm told that the North is strong. So, we may get, you see it more than me. So I'm just watching videos. So we may get to that finals and be a bit of a baptism for us. And, if it is, it is. And we'll go back and come again. So, that's our sort of mentality. We want to be the best. We want to do things properly. We want every player to come to us to realise their potential and become the best netball player that they can, and know that there's resource and tools for them to do that. Everyone has a different ceiling, and that comes down to how hard they want to work and how much they want to earn something. Netball is it's a game that you can make big strides very quickly, I think, in comparison to other sports. Especially...
my eyes have been opened to how fast-paced netball is. I never knew until Richard phoned me up and said, like, what do you think, Martin? Would you? And I was like, yeah, we'll give it a go. And then I'm stood there going, okay, I need to up my equipment here. I need to change this. I need to do that. And I want to showcase. I know how good Richard is with youngsters, and how he pushes the bar, especially when he had these active gamers. But what I'd like to know is, I know you're at the top of the league, but how are you promoting this outside, in your social sort of aspect now? Because, ENG, got to admit, it is Premier. So is it something you put on social media? It's a hard league. We're at the top. Social media update here, like promoting ENG, saying, like, bringing some people forward and saying, if you think you're that good, come on. Or do you actually say that when you speak to other coaches and other leagues and stuff?
No, I think we're very humble, actually. I think we kind of just go about our business, and it's you guys that build it up around the outsides and ask the difficult questions and, try and probe and try and get answers out of us or our players. But for us, it's like, look, we just believe in our own project. And what we are noticing, especially in the last few months, is people are starting to take notice of what we do. And every week now we're getting emails, or we're getting, we love the way your team played. Can we come and train with you? Even if we're not good enough to play, can we still train? And this is just like just a bit of a kind of just credit to the good work that goes on by Mel, by the other coaches, myself. You know, we really are passionate about the netball, and we'll give every single kid that comes through the door as much love and sort of nurturing within the game as possible. And like I say, they don't all get to play at this level, but hopefully they love their club, and you know, they feel loved within their club, and that's what it's about for me more than anything. It's just bringing people together, having a place to kind of always come back to one another wherever life takes you. And yeah, I think that's the bigger picture. But you know, right now it's all about trying to drive these squads on as far as we can. And if we get one or two girls move into the better levels in netball down the line, then I see that as massive success, more so than winning any league personally. But we'll see what comes.
I was going to say one more question, if you don't mind me jumping in here, Richard, just quickly.
No problems.
Do you feel do you feel, because it's live stream, you feel extra pressure on yourself as a coach? Do you feel like
on the TV?
Yeah, do you, because obviously
no, not
you know, people can watch it and they can go over your game as well, and you know, other parents, you know, who've got their kids in the teams and other coaches. Do you feel that, you know, you're kind of more exposed and that's a bit more high pressure in it as well?
I think it brings more excitement. If we weren't viewing these things, or people weren't able to see them, you know, who would know of them? You know, this is the thing we want. Like Richard's doing a great job showcasing. Yeah. I would call it personally, from my knowledge, an elite level of netball in terms of the age groups that I've watched. You know, we're playing in some local competition, and you know, from what I can see, this season's been our toughest. You know, for that age group, and for the 14s found out a couple of seasons ago that, you know, this isn't the level for you right now. So they've had to go back, and that's actually made them a better team, because
definitely,
you know, they've probably finished 5th or 6th locally. Now they're 1st or 2nd. So they've grown as a squad. They've become better. Whether or not they're able to take on the ENG again one day, that's another discussion. But look, the streams are brilliant. Why should we not be showcasing talent and boosting it up? And you know, this is the day of the media, right? We want to get somebody.
That's why I do it. It's you know, I want to show how competitive it all is and how hard that they work. But my question was more directed at you as a coach. Do you feel a bit self-conscious, or you love it that it's kind of like, you know, like the BBC or the Sky Sports, when they start to interview, you know, you start to see that, because there's things coming. And I will be catching you on the sideline, and I will be like a mic in your face, saying, you know, come on, coach, what do you think, Luke? Come on.
Right. Yeah. Well, they call me Cool Hand Luke, so that's hopefully that's the way I'll remain. You know, I just think, like, you know, the moments that happen in sport that you don't really. They're the moments we live for. The moments that just happen spontaneously. When a last-minute shot goes in and everyone behaves, you know, unnaturally, and it's those moments that we want to see on the camera, right? You don't always want to see someone programmed to speak. You want to see what happens in the moment. You know, people getting told off when they're shouting too much, or, you know, all that stuff that just brings to the drama. The parents the other day, how loud were they?
Oh, very loud.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Amazing.
It brings the atmosphere. Afterwards, they were all saying, "Don't do that to us again." And you know, you're playing with my heart.
It wasn't staged, I can tell you.
Yeah, it's like, it was my choice. We'd stroll it 25-0, but no, it wouldn't actually, because it doesn't have any excitement to it. But no, I think, look, the one thing I will say is that the little interviews that the girls do afterwards, I don't know if you know how much that means to them. You know, to see their little faces on YouTube and things like that, and they almost feel like professionals. You know, that's how they, you know, and it does wonders for their confidence when they're showing their little groups of friends back home. And I'm speaking sort of, I've got a daughter that plays in that under-12 side, so you know, just the pride she walks around with, being able to show, you know, her family or her friends or her school teachers, this is where we were on the weekend, and this is me speaking on behalf of the team. You're doing great things for young people's confidence. Forget, you know, the score. That just...
He's going to have a bit of a big head now, Luke. I'm going to have to make the screen a little bit wider for his.
Well, I did give him a few. I did give him a script to read. But he's adding bits to it as well.
It's all off the cuff.
But Luke, it's good you picked up on that, because that's one thing I've noticed. Like, there was a girl from Ellesmere Port in the last round, the under 12s round, and they were not. They just weren't confident a lot to do. So we did one interview a few months back, and it wasn't particularly great. It was just there was not a lot of dialogue going on. And I said to their coach, do you want me to put this on? And I don't think I put it on in the end, because I didn't want to embarrass them. I didn't want to feel bad or anything like that. So I thought, well, we just put this to the back burner. And I went to Ellesmere Port under 12s, the last game they played, and I said, I know you don't like it, but would you like an interview? And the girl who did the interview, she put her hand up straight away and said, I want to do it. And I said, okay, well, the last time didn't go particularly well. Hopefully, fair play to her. She's stepping up. Let's see how this goes, type of thing. And I tell you what, I was like a proud dad in a way, because she come across the interview so well, and you can tell that she's put a lot of thought into it. She's gone back, and this is away from the netball, and this is a part of hopefully part of something she can develop. She's developing on her own or with her family, and she's come to that interview and she's smashed it out the park, and she sounds like a seasoned professional. She's gone from one extreme to the other. And I sat back and after
you literally, I remember coming back from that day, and that's the first thing he talked about. As soon as we get in the car, I see him. We're coming back from Manchester. He was straight in there with that. He was like, she was amazing, unbelievable, couldn't believe it. I was like,
but it's difference that you've made to that young person without really knowing it at the time. That could be life changing for some of these girls.
Yeah.
So I think we should always try our best to boost confidence, even when we beat these teams. They're good teams. They are good sides. We want them to keep growing and getting better, and hopefully we do too. And I just love the fact that there's kids traveling 3-4 hours to get there and playing a netball match, and parents supporting it, and that's what it's all about. These kids love it. They honestly, I can only speak for my own sides, but I can see across the boards. I've got a bigger problem, which is the kids that don't get selected. That for me, that for me is heart-wrenching at times. I'm having to have conversations with parents about, why didn't she make the squad? Or honestly, I've always been Mr. Inclusive, right? So I'm there, like, trying my best to think, right, how do we go around this and keep these, because you want to keep people motivated and believing. It's all about belief.
Yeah.
If we've got belief, then we one of the big things I think you'll agree with, Richard, in sport, is that if kids don't feel like something's achievable, they drop out, or they don't want to play anymore, or they don't feel like they're very good. And for us, it's like, how do we keep people believing in the journey, which is that, right, today might not be your day, but work hard, like you say, earned not given. That is the perfect kind of way of summing up the journey to where you want to get to. In this case, netball, and every club, I'm sure, is having these same selection dilemmas, and hopefully we can continue to grow the level of opportunity, I would say, for these young people. I know you let some teams have second teams in the competitions and stuff like that. It's great. I just, our local league plays once every 3 weeks. It's not enough. 3 or 4 weeks. These kids,
no.
They want, if we want to create top players and grow the level of our game here, then it's like football. They train 3-4 times a week. So we've got to bring that level of kind of netball is there now. It seems to be going that way, but I think if we can get everyone on that page, we're only going to create a much better netball in future for these young ladies, and then hopefully some
Luke,
boys.
Before you go, do you love the roll-on, roll-off subsystem?
100%.
I was going to ask that.
That's a no-brainer. Honestly,
beat you, Martin.
Yeah, that is. I think, like you said, I listened to last week that the ability to change something during the game for a coach is massively important. Especially, I think you then start working out which coaches are really on top of the tactical stuff, because that there's the element of ability in terms of between the girls, but one thing I think, as they get a bit older, they all are quite accomplished players, so they all tend to be, they all understand their roles. So it's not so much ability that wins you the games anymore. I think it starts becoming a little bit more tactical, and that's where the coaches start coming into their own, and those changes that you need to make. And some decisions will be good and some won't, but that's part of being a coach.
But this is about the live streaming part. I think that the tactics that you take to a game, if a team does it, reviews your previous games, you've got to be able to rotate that around. You've got to be able to, and the substitution, it's reacting, like you said. Have they got that ability? That's an interesting one. Never thought of that.
It's like anything. You want to nullify the threats and create your own problems, right? So that's the truth. And sometimes, like I said, we looked hard at the GS of Saturn Town, but the GA went under the radar, to be honest, a little bit. So we had to react there and then. And if we weren't able to make those changes, the game may have been beyond us. So no, listen, I think the ability. The thing is, it doesn't impact the game anyway. They happen during a stoppage of play. So we should be moving to that sort of way of sport being roll on, roll off. Because also you get a better level of quality as well.
Keeps it moving.
Yeah, but what makes me laugh is that governing bodies and stuff across the board, they talk about making it as fair as possible and as inclusive as possible. And the roll off subsystem is the most inclusive thing you can do, because you can bring players into the game whenever you want. You can make them fit. You can make everyone feel a part of it, regardless of how much time they get. You can bring players into situations for 1 or 2 minutes, which they probably wouldn't get if you only could bring them on once in the game. And you can say, like, if a game's high intense, say, right, I don't know, Julie, you're coming on. Oh, hold on a minute. No, you're going to experience 2 minutes of that high intensity, and I'm going to bring you back off, but you're going to feel that 2 minutes is going to feel like 20 minutes for you, but you need it.
Yeah. And I think you're 100% right, because the other day our goalkeeper probably learned more watching the other player play that role than she would have if she started in a position we won't have been as effective. So part of her watching the other player play the role, it wasn't about the ability, it was about look at her attitude off the ball. How is she trying to get the scenario in her favor even when the ball's on the opposite side of the court? So it's sort of that the attitude of being face to face and fronting someone up and getting touch tight. Not every kid has that naturally.
Can I jump in there if you don't mind, Luke? I sometimes flip the camera over because I see things going on. What I mean? I'm like, I'll see what's going on there, and I'll flip it just for a second. I'm sure people have watch it going, what do you do that for? But actually, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing corner of my eye, because obviously the setup. I'm like, that's off ball action. That's good. That's like, no, I'm getting in front. I can see that ball's going to come back, and I want to be in position. I love it.
Yeah, like everyone's got that perception that netball is non-contact, but that doesn't play the game, right? But honestly, the amount of stuff that goes on off the ball it's just as physical as any other sport I played in. And it's actually like when I watch the internationals in the week, and the contact is being sort of, we're trying to start playing more without the whistle. So we're starting to accept that there's going to be a bit of contact, which keeps the game flowing. And I think it makes a better game. You want to create tough athletes. You don't want to be blowing the whistle every time someone's, been accidentally tapped or stood on. And you bring more out of people as well when you ask them a little bit more physically. So I like it. I think it's good.
Well, look, I think you can learn just as much in a minute's gameplay than you can playing 40 minutes. Sometimes it's that the roll-on subsystem allows more players to be involved. You can tailor their experience, and as coaches, there is a lot of pressure on people like Luke, because unfortunately, sport is a very emotional thing. Everyone wants their child in the team, but unfortunately, there's only 7 people that can get in. So Luke and Melissa have to manage expectation, and the roll-on subsystem just helps them that little bit more to manage that expectation. And again, it just helps them have less stress and less aggro, because everyone can play their part. I don't agree with someone should have X amount of minutes. You're not. You're not. If you've got given 10 seconds, be grateful for the 10 seconds and do your best for 10 seconds. Don't expect more than you're given because you've been given that for a reason. Just do your best when you're given it. But yeah, Luke, you've been such a great ambassador for ENG. Your check could be in the post.
And for FBL, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thanks
but
for
Luke,
having me, Chap.
good luck.
Thanks for coming on.
Like I said, I don't think the AP Saints game is a foregone conclusion. I do believe you'll win it if you bring 80% of what I know you can do. I believe you'll win that game. But because AP Saints have got a lot to play for, it's going to be a very exciting one, and it's going to bring out the best in both teams, and whoever can manage that the best in terms of pressure, in terms of coaching decisions. I think AP Saints have got a lot to do, but just make sure the girls are ready because they're not a sort of team you can kind of think that you can just walk over and get the win. So let's see. Hopefully, Turnford are going to be hoping for a slip up, and I can imagine Martin's view count and live stream is going to go through the roof.
Good.
But it's going to be good. But thank you so much, Luke, and we'll see you again very soon, mate.
See you later,
Thank
Chap.
you.
Take care. Bye.
Our pleasure. There we go. I suppose you want the league back up there.
Okay,
Don't you?
No, that's Luke from that was unexpected. So it was good to have Luke in here, and he's cut from the same cloth as most of these clubs in these leagues. They just want the best for the kids, and they want the best platforms to showcase their netball. But let's go through. Let's see if we can get these hot topics done in 20 minutes.
Go on, then.
So let's start with. Well, I want to just quickly go on like Saturn Town. I put something on Facebook. Should Saturn Town be frustrated with that loss? And to be honest, I think they should be terribly frustrated because at one point they were 3 points ahead. I think Stars made a tactical change in the fourth quarter that was gutsy. It was brave. And I said to Cara, who was doing the score take, and I said that can either go one or that can either go two ways. That could just blow up in their face, or it could win them the game. And it went the right way for them. But Saturn Town, they did a great job. But for me, they should be frustrated. One, because they could have drawn the game at the very end with a little bit more composure. And two, they found themselves in a fantastic position to go on and win the game at one point. And they allowed Stars to creep back in again. And they could potentially have been sitting on top of the league today if they just had that a little bit more discipline. But that's why they're here. They've got to learn that, and hopefully they can learn something from that game, which will help them in the nationals. And if you look at the nationals, they're going to play they're going to play either presently Leeds, Oldham, or Kingsway Power. Kingsway Power or Oldham, I would suggest most likely they're going to play. So a tough game in the quarterfinals or the grand finals. But again, this is what they signed up for. There's no point saying, oh, God, they're not going to win that game or it's going to be too hard for them. This is why they're here. They want to learn and they want to play against the best. And this is what we've provided them with, the best possible competition in the whole entire country. So Saturn Town, you did a great job.
Yeah.
But be frustrated, be annoyed at yourself because that's the only way you're going to improve for next time. So well done to Saturn Town. Next thing is Turnford. Can they win this league? The answer is yes. They're going to need a big favour off AP Saints. Turnford played superbly. I think Turnford's performances after Christmas have been far better than Stars. Stars have been a little bit sloggy in their performances and they've lacked consistency at times, but they've got the job done. So that's the main thing. But Turnford have looked a lot more slick. They've looked a lot more ruthless in their performances. So they'll be kicking themselves big time that they dropped a 6-point lead in the game they played against Stars. They've got to beat Paul, which the table suggests they will do. I think their goal difference won't be caught up. So they're going to need AP Saints to do to bring their their A game. And the best thing for that game, Martin, is that AP Saints still have something to play for. So if it's going to happen, they've got the best environment for that to happen. So that is, I think they need a big favour. But let's see what happens. They beat Paul, then they sit back and they pray to the netball gods that AP Saints bring their best performance. And I think AP Saints will cause problems. They're a good team. They just need.
I believe they will.
But they will cause problems. It just depends, again, consistency. And again, that takes me on to AP Saints and Eagles. Who will win? Who will get that top 4 space? I'm going to say Eagles, just for the fact that Eagles have, on paper, an easier game, and AP Saints have a harder game. Don't forget, listen to what Luke said. AP Stars haven't lost in 3 years, that team. So AP Saints have to do. AP Saints have to do something that no team has done in 3 years. So if that's not motivation enough, I don't know what is. Luke's not silly, and Melissa's not silly. They know that's going to end at some point. It's just when it ends is the key thing. Yeah. And for them, I think it'd be disastrous if it ended, especially on the last couple of games of the season, because they've entertained us massively. Their spectators are exactly what we want for our competitions. They're loud. They encourage the kids. They drive them forward, and let's not forget about the impact they have on these girls, because Stars have been down in games. They've needed that extra. I say, show your support and be the 8th player on the court. And the spectators are the 8th player on the court. And like on Saturday, they just drove that team forward, and they gave them that little bit of extra energy just to get the job done. So let's not forget the supporters that come down and scream and shout. And Martin, you know what I'm saying. Like, the teams that have the best support and the most enthusiastic support are normally the teams that do better.
Yep, definitely.
It just goes hand in hand. Don't ask me why or how and why the science of it. It's just nature. You can't.
Well, it's the encouragement, isn't it? You know, I've run a half marathon. No jokes, please. And my mate was at the end. You know, I was pretty much dying as I got to the end. But actually, I had a little bit more energy when I got to the end. It was like my mate's going, "Come on, you can do it." I was like, "Well, I know I can do it. I'm only going to run an extra 2 meters." But actually, you know, you can feel your energy level. So having people there encouraging you, shouting at you, you know, and cheering when you score, you know, or when your team scores, it gives you the energy. It's the power. It's like, you know, when singing, people singing together.
But Martin, do you know what I loved more? Do you know what I loved more than anything when I was playing football? You didn't get it as much when I played at like a high level, but when I was more Sunday league level, I used to love it when the parents used to, because parents, but when you think about it, parents were terrible like back then. I don't know how bad it is now on the side of pitches, but back then I'd be like 10 years old and I'd be getting verbals from parents. But you know what? I loved it because I was like, even better. Like, I couldn't ask for better motivation. Like, I love, don't get me wrong, people saying well done and, you know, cheering me on. But when a parent would like say something to me when I was only 10, like trying to discourage me or trying to get into my head because they're so passionate about their kids winning, I was like, right, this is even better. So sometimes, you know, you hear the noise and you sometimes think, oh, is that having a detrimental effect? But real competitors, that's fuel to the fire. That's the worst thing you can do to a competitor, is cheer and be loud for the other team, because that just puts more fuel on the fire, and that you're only going to drive the opposition further, because proving people wrong is probably the best feeling you're ever going to have. So yeah,
I'd say you encouraging your team is definitely more of an
I think we have that instinct to want to prove people wrong, because in our day-to-day lives we hear more negative than we do positive. So when we can overturn it and go against the grain and prove to people that, you know what, you're saying I can't do it, and you get that more as you get older. proving someone wrong is far more, for me, is far more spiritual than
I don't like
proving
proving
someone
people wrong. I just like proving I'm right.
There you go. There you go. But Eagles and AP Saints are the two teams battling for the top four. Eagles are pushing on big time as a team. They're getting better. I expect them to win against Hearts Hornets, but don't forget Hearts Hornets played a fantastic game last time out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Eagles. I just think AP Saints, they've got too much to do against Stars. But AP Saints, remember what I said. Let that be fuel to your fire and give us the best game possible.
Anything can happen
when you play against Stars. And this is what we're here for. You're here for these opportunities. So enjoy it, embrace it, and whatever happens, as long as you do your best, then nothing else can be said to you. But Martin, let's do a quick roundup of the weekend before we shoot off. So we've got coming up this weekend, we've got a huge weekend, under 13s and under 14s Southern Conference. We've got newly replaced aces. So Team Beds will be coming into the league and they'll be kicking things off against last season's national champions. So welcome to the ENG Youth Netball Premier League to Team Beds. A very tough start.
Your baptism of fire.
Yeah, they've got two tough games. They've got Team Bridge and they've got Team Bed. So Team Bridge have had a really poor start to the season. But Team Bridge will be hoping for 2 wins this time out. They have Abbey Flyers and they have Team Beds. So Team Beds, I've got 2 tough games. For me, Team Bridge win those 2 games. And Team Beds, I haven't seen them. But based on what I know of the teams they're playing, I'm going to say Team Beds, it's going to be a very difficult start. But I've never seen you. So you might turn up and beat these 2 teams and change my mind completely. Turnford, they need wins. They've got Abbey Flyers, which they should get the win against. And they've also got Eagles. Massive game against Eagles. Eagles might have a couple of players missing due to schools games and stuff, some school competition. But it's still going to be a really tough game. Turnford, they have to win both those games if they want to push for the top 4. So good luck to Turnford. The first game, they should get the win. The second game, you're going to have to bring your A game because that is going to be a tough one. And moving into the afternoon, we have the battle of the top 4. So AP Saints versus 5 Ways. Then they play Magic. This is do or die for me in regards to AP Saints this season. If they get at least 1 win, if they get 2 wins, for me, they're they're going to go to the national finals. If they get 1 win, then the next couple of rounds are just going to be fingers in nails in mouth job, fingers in mouth, eating my nails job.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay, I'll go with it.
No, well, I was calling someone by their wrong name when its name was clearly on the screen. What's going on?
Yeah, good point.
It's too many apple ties, isn't it?
I just think the suspense of the weekend's knackered you out. That's what it was. So,
well, if you thought last weekend was good, this weekend's going to be 10 times better because these teams have got the experience. They know exactly what they're coming into. So AP Saints, big week for them. If they get the 2 wins, if they get the 2 wins, I think you can safely say they'll be going to the nationals. If they get 1 defeat or 2 defeats, it's going to be a nerve-wracking end to the season for them. They're playing 5 Ways who have to win these next 2 games, so they have to beat AP Saints and they have to beat Ryland. I don't think they have a choice if they want to try and push for the top 4. Magic, I'm a Magic fan, by the way. I'm going to admit that to everyone right now because I've seen their development as a club and I've seen how far they've come. Mentally is most important mentally as a squad. So Magic, like AP Saints, they need to get at least 1 win to keep this ball rolling. But if they can get 2 wins and they're playing AP Saints and they're playing Cross Keys, it'd just be one hell of a story, especially from where they've come from last season. They've turned in a team that they beat the ones they should beat, and they always come up short against the ones they are expected to come up short against. But they've changed that narrative this season, and they're starting to beat the teams they're expected to lose against. So big week for Magic as well. And Ryland. So Ryland have got maximum points. They've got 2 tough games. So the afternoon, Martin, is going to be mental. So Ryland are playing Five Ways and Ryland are playing Cross Keys. 2 massive games. If they get those 2 wins, they go into the next round and they'll be playing Eagles. And that'll be a potentially top of the table clash. So
great. It would be, wouldn't it? Yeah.
If that happens, fantastic. If they get the 2 wins, we can safely say they're going to be in the national finals. Big week from Ryland as well, because Ryland are not going to be thinking about just qualifying for the top 4. They want to win this league. So let's see if they've got the talent and they've got the mentality to do that. But 2 massive games, so very interested to see what happens there. And Cross Keys, a club that's come into this league because they want the competition, and we've definitely provided it for them. They're playing Magic and they're playing Ryland back to back. It's massive. Like if you go to the league table, Martin, every team from Five Ways, and even if Turnford can get 2 wins and they can create a big upset against Eagles, they're back in it. So if
it's a good point.
And even less, I know it's a bit less likely, but if Teambridge get 2 wins and results go their way, they could find themselves only 2 points behind the top 4 going into the final 3 games. Yeah. So from 8
still open,
upward,
isn't it?
It's massive.
It's still open.
Big week ahead for the under 13s. And let's just quickly move on to the under 14s.
There we go.
So we've got Saturday. If Saturday ain't going to be stressful enough, Sunday we kick things off with Eagles versus Matrix. This again, it's gonna. I love watching Matrix. I'm not going to lie. I think they're just a great team to watch because they bring so much to the game. Like you got the competitiveness, the physical nature of their play, the skill set. I just love watching Matrix play, and they're playing Eagles. It's just a great game. Like it's just a brutal, just unforgiving game of netball. Then you've got Teambridge taking on AP Saints. AP Saints and Teambridge are wanting to push for the top 4. Their aspirations is to get into the national finals. Then we've got Poole versus Matrix. So Matrix have 2 massive games against 2 of the country's best teams. If they can get 1 win out of 2, then that's a great day at the office. If they can get 2 wins out of 2, then I think they should have an open top bus around Abingdon, where they're from. Abingdon, yeah. So get the open top bus ready, because if they get those 2 wins, then wow. Then again, I think that would be one of the biggest results of the season so far. And Teambridge have Eagles again. Great game. So much talent on the court. I can't speak highly enough of all these teams. And Poole versus AP Saints at 1 o'clock to finish off the first section of games. And Poole, they're missing a couple of players due to injury. They've just played AP Saints in the cup event, and it was quite a close score. Very surprising as well. I didn't expect the score to be what it was. So, before that score, I'd have written AP Saints off and said, you know what, you haven't got a chance. But I was speaking to Alison, their coach, and she generally believes she has a chance in that game to beat Poole. So it's that first 5 games is just brutal. Like North Korea versus South Korea. That's the best way I can, or Russia versus Ukraine. That's the best way I can to put it. Then in the afternoon we have our under 13s national champions returning. Turnford play Hearts Dynamos and Aces. 2 games you expect them to win based on previous results and what they've done in the in this league and levels in their local community and stuff. And it's going to be tough for Hearts Dynamos and Aces, but who knows? I don't know too much about Aces and Hearts Dynamos to give off a really great opinion. I've only watched them play once. And let's see what they bring to the table. I'll be looking forward to it. Again, they've got the footage, they've got the live stream. Analyze it. But,
Definitely.
Let's work out how to beat these teams.
And Turnford are playing back to back, so Aces has an advantage there, I think.
Do you know what? I think back to back is perfect because you're still. It depends. If you lose, I think sometimes you need that timeout to kind of refocus. But I think if you win, then just keep that momentum going. And if you can just play a game straight afterwards, then you're buzzing and you've got that enthusiasm, you've got that happiness and excitement and that competitiveness still running through your blood. So I think playing back to back, especially if you win the first game, is not detrimental at all. I think it's probably beneficial. CD, and that's why they've got the roll on subs as well. If players are getting tired, you can bring them off.
Yeah.
That's why we have the roll on subs. CD Phoenix, Hearts Dynamo. CD Phoenix are going to need to win these next two games. If you go up, Martin,
I'm on it.
2 wins, 2 losses, 4 points. It's very open in the top 4. But if they get 2 wins, which I expect them. Well, Hearts Dynamos again. Based on experience, CD Phoenix are a tough team. I think they'll get the win there. And they play Saturn Town. Now, Saturn Town, they're doing superbly in their local regional leagues and stuff, and they're struggling to find competition at the moment. And I can guarantee you, Saturn Town, you're going to get it off CD Phoenix, and that's a really good game to end the day. Superb game. 2 teams that have a lot of character. The players are great. They've got personality in abundance. So again, superb games. Then Aces versus Saturn Town. Again, Aces don't know too much about. I know they've got big squads. I know it depends. Sometimes players are not available. Sometimes players are. And if they bring down the squad they desire, then who knows what they could achieve on Sunday. And I'm looking forward to it because Hearts, Dynamos and Aces, I don't know too much about. So it'd be good to see them again so I can analyse their performances and potentially map the direction they're going in. But it's going to be a great weekend. And all I can ask is that spectators, please come and support the league. That energy, that enthusiasm just helps massively. Yes, financially it helps ENG Sports because the more we're supported financially, the more we can do as a business to support clubs and give them the best opportunities possible. But to be honest, I just love the kind of tribal atmosphere a lot of people bring to games. So I love all that tribalism stuff. So please get down. Please book your tickets Saturday and Sunday. Every game is massive. Your support could be the difference between winning and losing. If you cannot make it on Saturday or Sunday, then sit down with a cup of tea, go onto fblstreamslive.com, book your live stream and sit back and watch it from the comfort of your own home. And Martin will always turn around and say, if you can't make it to the game, then we've got an opportunity for you to watch it from home. And if you can't make it, watch it online. Support Martin as much as you support ENG.
No matter what sport. Get there, even if it's music, just get there, watch it live, do that. Watch something if you can't make it. It's always a backup, as I call it. And it's really for aunties, uncles, grandparents, especially with the things the way they are in the world, they can watch it. But you can't beat being there. I mean, I've got to admit, I'm live streaming it. Sometimes I do look over and I'm looking at it and I go, you wouldn't get that if you weren't there. So, and I try and bring the camera over, but sometimes the action's happening over there. But definitely well worth being there. And but
the most important thing is that you get to meet me and Martin in person. What more do you want?
Well, I'd just like to say I'm kind of running around behind a laptop all the time. I'm not like you. It gets it easy, gets other people working there and just runs around and talks to people all the time. I am working really hard. So unlike yourself.
Well, I'm too busy signing autographs, mate.
Oh, yeah. And actually interviewing them after the game, like in Formula One, straight in there with you. Okay, that's what I like. If anything, people, if you're there when you're watching it live, when you sat there and you watch Richard afterwards, after the game's finished, he's straight out there You know, you're like the greyhound when it's, you know, the rabbit goes past and you're straight out there. You're like, can I interview you, please? Can I interview you? You're straight in there. It's brilliant.
Well, yeah. Well,
you got your target. Stay on target.
She's had a controversial game. I'll interview her.
That is you. That is you. I can see it. It's like if I go to get a coffee and you're interviewing them, just like in the south, not so much in the north, but in the south, and sometimes you're utilizing the you know, the food area because there's hot drinks available, isn't there? Hot drinks, you have, you know, cake and sandwiches sometimes there as well. So, you know, it's not like if you turn up at the event you're going to go hungry. People, there's food and water. You can be, you know, fed, and a drink, but you'll be interviewing them. And I always think of it as like, you know, the headmaster's office. I go, oh, I'm not going to go in. And sometimes you're going, come on. I'm like, nah, I'm all right. I've got a couple of things to do. I don't. It's just.
But what I want to do before the end of the season is start pulling parents in and interviewing the parents. So to get.
Oh, that's a good one.
So I want to start interviews. So parents, watch out. If I'm, you know, the kids do such a great job. I'm probably more nervous than they are when we do the interviews, and it'd be nice to pull in the parents and get their perception of what they've just seen as well. So your parents, if you're up for it, I might start targeting parents, especially the ones that get really angry on the court, on the side of the court, and I just say, look, how did you feel about that game? And they start going crazy and saying, umpires are rubbish, the coach is rubbish, my kid should have played longer. Then I'll be sitting there.
You love it.
But Martin, thank you very much. Thank you
can I
very
add
much
one
again.
thing?
Go on.
I just got to show this picture because you sent it to me earlier. I'm sure it's all right. How cool is that? How cool is that?
Yeah, that
Watching
is a Magic athlete who has gone back and analysed the footage of her game. So well done. That's what it's there for. So well, it's there for many reasons, but that's one of the reasons it's there for. So this is what we do. We're giving you the best possible chance, not only to enjoy your netball, but to enhance your ability when you play the game. When you play the game you love. So Martin, thank you once again for tonight. Massive weekend ahead.
Thank you, Richard.
Like I said, please get down there, support the teams, book your tickets. If you cannot get down there, then support Martin, FBL, because the more you can support us, the more we can support and provide more services to the clubs and the players and stuff.
New tech as well, which we've got coming in February. You know about it, Richard. And it's like, I invest as well. And don't forget, you can always watch it afterwards. Go over it, especially on the way home.
Cool.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Please tune in again. I'm sure you'll be doing another one next week. Is that correct, Richard?
No, we're doing every Monday. Every Monday we're doing a preview show, and all the way up to the national finals. So next Monday we are back to review what happens this weekend. Martin, bring your 1940s World War II helmet. It's going to be a bit brutal, this one, mate. I'll see you on Saturday.
Looking forward to it. Can't wait. See you all, people. Don't forget, leave a comment. We'll pick it up later. Okay, bye-bye.